Hey Brooke, it's Jevany here. Thank you so much for your feedback. I really appreciate it. Just before I begin, I just want to reiterate that it's not that it was an unpaid study. The caregivers who were a part of the study were paid for both interviews. It was $20 if they completed both interviews, so altogether it was $40. Now, as far as the unpaid part, now their everyday caregiving, they had to be unpaid for that. So, for example, we do have Home Instead and Senior Helpers, which are caregiving companies, and they provide caregivers who do get paid, like $8 to $10 an hour. But then there are caregivers like who will more than likely be family members or friends who take care of loved ones, 24/7 or most of the day, and it's unpaid. And so I just wanted to get that clear on that. But moving along, now as far as the education, the lower the education, just like the article said, yeah, the more likely the depression will hit. Now, I really do need to look into the higher education and how that affects. Just off the top of my head, I would think that the higher the education that the caregiver has, the better occupation, the more money and more stability they have, so therefore they can actually use resources in the community such as adult daycare centers where buses can come pick up your mom or grandmother and drop them off at the center and have a good time, eat, fellowship, go out bowling, and then come back. And they'll bring them back, and that can take a load off of you. But then again, there's some people who can't do that and for that. And to answer your questions about the parent-adult-child relationship, the retirement living and nursing home setting abuse, and the disabled, retired, and forced retirement. Now, all of that is going to be incorporated into my paper because all that leads to psychological abuse, and all of it is a part of that, and it'll give my paper a little bit more life to discuss different aspects of psychological abuse in different settings. Now, as far as relationships, like the parent-adult-child reversal, see, that's kind of like, for example, if your mother is 70 years old and she gets sick, and you're 40 years old, but that you kind of have that obligation to take care of your mother because more than likely people just don't want to put their parents in a nursing home. That's typically the last thing that they really want to do. So you kind of have that filial, I think I'm saying it right, filial obligation to where you feel obligated, or your culture obligates you to take care of your loved one, and you have to hold everything aside. And even my cousin had to drop out of college to take care of her mother. Not that she was obligated to, but she just really wanted to. But that's just an example. But then there are people who really don't want to, but then they have to, and that's where that depression definitely can set in because they're not doing their everyday activities that they want to do. And now as far as forced retirement, there's some people who have forced to actually retire due to maybe forgetfulness or their, some kind of cancer or something to make them have to retire. And that's where the disengagement theory can set in because they loosen their social ties, they're not doing what they want to do, and that's where depression, of course, hits, and anxiety, and even the manipulative and controlling behaviors that I talked about in my, that was a part of my article review. And then you also have the people who do take care of like their spouses, and they might have to retire to take care of their spouse, and they might not want to, and that can lead to activity restriction and depression with that. So I'm going to incorporate that in my paper as well. Now, as far as the retirement living, more than likely there's not going to really be elder abuse My grandparents are actually moving into the Cambridge Village in Mayfair, which is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I was there yesterday. I was like, I'm going to live here myself. It was brand new. But they typically do everything themselves. I mean, they don't even have a lifeguard at the swimming pool. They don't have any CNAs. I think they might have a nurse maybe come sometimes, but typically it's all on their own. Even the food is on their own. They order whatever food they want. It's not like, okay, Miss Starks can't have salt or something. No, it's just like a restaurant. So elder abuse is less likely to happen there. Now, the nursing home setting is what I'm more worried about, because me trying to be an administrator, I really want to be educated on that, because CNAs do have long hours. They get frustrated, and they don't really have that education to know really what what to do, maybe what not to do. But I'm sure somehow they'll get taught that. Especially that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that they do get taught on elder abuse, because they might not even know that they're psychologically abusing our older adults, or even physically abusing our older adults, or our residents that will be there. As far as that, I hope I answered all the questions, but if not, just let me know. Well, thank you again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.